Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome to the Mystic Path. This is going to be your March energy update. It is currently today, March 4th, 2023. That does not matter. I just, those of you who watch know that I had done a bunch of pre-records because over the holidays and through January and February, I had family here in my house, and so it becomes very hard to get quiet time enough to film videos for things to be quiet enough. So I had done a bunch of pre-records so that there could still be energy updates, but now I'm back. My company went back home last week. Don't mind me, just putting on some intuition oil. My nails are in horrible shape. I've been doing a ton of gardening, so they're a little dry. Don't mind my hands in the video, people. Also, I'm just kind of wearing bummy clothes because I was doing some stuff out in my yard, but I just wanted to get right to cards because that's how excited I am to get back to it and get back to you guys in a live manner, right? We're going to use two new card decks over here. That one was gifted to us over the holidays, so found its way to us. And then this one I gifted to the channel myself around the holidays because when I saw it, I could not turn away from it, correct? Okay. So, this is going to be your March energy update. I may be a little rusty. Give me a couple videos to get back into the swing of it. I've already cleaned and cleared the space. I've cleaned and cleared my own energy. For those of you watching, if you haven't, we'll go ahead and ask. I ask from the ultimate source with no harm to myself or others. I ask for clear, concise, productive messages and clarity for growth to come through in this March energy update. I ask that everyone watching, as well as myself, is protected in a safe space. And we are grateful for the support from the other realms and other entities and multidimensionals out there. We are grateful for the messages that you give us. We are grateful for the support you give us. And we're going to go ahead and get started. Really quick, another cool thing that I got over the holidays. We got two new card decks. But this amethyst charging pad. I mean, you guys, look at this beauty. I got a ton of other crystals over the holidays and over the last few months. Because you all know who watch, I'm obsessed. But this amethyst, I've never seen a giant piece of amethyst like this before. When I saw it, I had to get it for us, right? And then I put these Flower of Life and Merkaba activation energy stickers on there. So we're using it to charge crystals, to charge our decks, right? It's on our altar. So I definitely wanted to share that with you guys. Like I said, I've never seen a piece of amethyst that big before. I've seen selenite charging pads, right? And when I saw this, I just couldn't not get it. As soon as I saw it, it was screaming, I need to come home with you. So that's what we did. All right, let's get right into this. Oh, first, let's just quickly. The two new decks are Female Archangels by Callista, illustrated by Marijo Forzelli. Sorry if I butchered that. These are the Female Archangel Oracle. Okay. Cards are beautiful. Earlier, I was preparing the space, and this card fell on the floor, so Source, return to oneness. Yes, okay. When it fell on the floor, I thought, it wants to participate in the reading. And I was like, well, we'll just put it back on the deck and see. And just now when I was talking about that, my guide was like, yes, put it on the table. Okay. And then this other deck was gifted to us. It's by Kelly Patton. Okay. Look at this box, you guys. Amazing. It's like all laser cut. The Secret Woods. This deck is very much like Alice in Wonderland-ish. I'll show you here. Okay. Here it is. It was gifted to us. I have been dying to try both of these decks, but like I said, we had a lot of, I mean, look at this. Amazing, right? Amazing. I've had a lot going on the last 3 months, I guess. It's been a busy, wonderful start to the year. I got to spend some needed time with some family members. My parents are getting older, you know, and time is flying, so we got to spend a good, significant couple of months together, which was nice. And there was just a lot going on, you know. There was some home improvement stuff going on I was doing. I planted my garden because here in Florida, we've been in summer temperatures for like the last 2 weeks. The last month, it's just been like winter's over, amazing, beautiful, right? So I've been taking the time and the opportunity. I've been spending a lot of time outside. And I've gotten so many cool downloads, you know, that I'm going to share with you guys about March, especially. All right, so let's just get started. Let's just start off. The crystals that are going to be good for March, okay? Green aventurine. Green aventurine overall in any time is a great emotional grounder. So if you're ever having issues, you know, with feeling overwhelmed in your emotions, you're not able to get a handle on them, whatever it is, stress, anxiety, grief, you know, love bombing, whatever's happening, carry green aventurine with you. If you're in that state, it's a great emotional grounder. So that's probably why it's one of this month's crystals, right? Also, lapis lazuli, okay? Great crystal. This is a great crystal. That's just like an overall kind of staple crystal to have, right? Lapis lazuli, throat chakra, very supportive of the throat chakra, very helpful with helping you speak your truth and stay balanced in using your voice, okay? It's going to be very, very helpful this month. Also, another crystal that will be helpful to carry with you or wear in jewelry is bumblebee jasper, okay? Alls I have of bumblebee jasper is this strand of beads. They're very tiny. I'm going to make them into a bracelet, I believe. So you can see it's multicolored. There's lots of yellow in there to support the solar plexus. Okay, so so the crystals I just mentioned, green aventurine, lapis lazuli, and bumblebee jasper. These are all going to be great crystals for like leaving them around your home where you spend a lot of time, the rooms you spend a lot of time in. Carrying them with you throughout the day to keep you balanced, etc. Green aventurine and lapis lazuli will be great for the bed gridding. Bumblebee jasper, not so much. So when it's time for sleeping, I'd put the bumblebee jasper away because you don't really want to ignite your solar plexus while you're trying to sleep. That fire energy will make some people restless. So great for carrying with you this month. If you have, big crystals of it, leave it around the rooms of your house you spend the most time in, wherever that is, your office, your car, your kitchen, right? Your living room, but not for the bedroom. Okay, for the bedroom and bed gridding, as always, we're going to do amethyst, black tourmaline, selenite, and then we're going to add green aventurine, lapis lazuli. Okay, these are the 5 for the bed grid. If you don't have these are always great staples to just always bed grid your bed with. If you are finding you have trouble sleeping because you're getting a lot of like messages, spiritual messages about how to grow, right? Then you're going to want to remove the selenite, because the selenite kind of lets the universe know, hello, open for business, send me messages. So if you're getting overwhelmed with messages, remove the selenite. Just use those 2. They're great for sleeping. These are great staples. I keep these on my bed grid at all times of the year. And then month to month, I will add and take away what the guides tell me will be helpful. So for March, add green aventurine, lapis lazuli. Okay? I wanted to knock that out right away because I know some people just watch to find out what the crystals for the month are. And for the bed grid, I have a couple of people that'll like text me and be like, bed grid, ? It's been several days, you haven't mentioned it. So that's all. Also, this month, our third eye chakra is going to be supported the most by the energy. We're going to need our solar plexus chakra to be strong and healthy this month to help get us through any challenges, right? That's why the bumblebee jasper is good. If you don't have bumblebee jasper, then any yellow crystal would do good. Lemon quartz. I have a lemon quartz here, I believe. Right here. Okay, so if you're having trouble finding bumblebee jasper, or you don't have it, lemon quartz would be good as a little substitute. Okay, because we need our solar plexus chakra to be strong this month to help us with the energies coming in. Okay, the chakra that's going to be challenged the most this month is the heart chakra. Okay, so the green aventurine will help with that, right? Because we have a higher heart chakra, and then the heart chakra green, the higher heart chakra pink. So if you're not finding this is soothing, maybe add in some rose quartz. But from what my guides tell me, the green aventurine should do it, right? But this card, all I can see jumping out at me is like the pinkness as it's sitting down here, right? So some of you might need the rose quartz. That's why I mention it. Okay. If you are an essential oils person and you want to know for your diffuser or for a little spray bottle, one of those little spray bottles I've showed you guys before. Oh, like something like this size or smaller. Probably they have a little smaller one, but you'll do 4 drops of lavender, 3 drops of rosemary, 2 drops of peppermint. Okay, that's going to be a good mix for this month to help you. If you have like a bigger spray bottle, you're going to want to look up online the ounces and how many drops of essential oils for that many ounces, and then you'll need to do the math, right? Lavender 4, rosemary 3, peppermint 2. So if it says 50 drops, right? So then just do it in the same ratio. Also, if you're into sound bath, which I am, which just reminded me that I did not do something for a client. Luckily, she watches the channel, so hopefully, she's giggling at this. There was something I meant to do yesterday, and I forgot all about it. And just now, when I mentioned sound baths, it popped into my head because it has to do with sound baths. So I'm just sending myself a quick email, just to remind myself that that needs to be done. Thank you for your patience. Okay. So sound bath frequency for this month is 639. Would be very good. Also, if you're not into like sound bath frequency and you prefer like nature sounds, ocean waves would be great for March. Okay. All right. So let's get into, I have a bunch of notes here that I took when I was like meditating on what's happening for March, right? So, this is already the 4th, so we've kind of passed the 1st and 2nd. Those energy days were very good, very intense. Those were days we wanted to stay very aware in our thoughts. In March in general, we're going to want the solar plexus. I keep bringing up the solar plexus because that's what houses like our confidence, our self-esteem, our personality to a degree, right? Like who we are, who we want to be, right? How do we want to show up in the world? Independence is housed there. Confidence, self-esteem. So we're going to want our solar plexus to be very strong this month. So you can do some solar plexus sound baths. You can do some yoga. This morning I did some yoga. That was the whole hour was around the solar plexus, all the poses, right? It was like, why can't I talk today? What is happening? The class was engineered in a manner that all the poses were made to help strengthen the solar plexus, okay? And I just knocked into the camera, so clearly I'm a little rusty. Bear with me, everyone. All right. Now, from the 1st to the 5th, which is until tomorrow here, we're having this great feel-good energy, right? If you've been watching me for a while, and if not, no big deal, but in March of 2020 is when the global, you know what happened, right? The sickness that traveled the globe and caused everybody to have to like make adjustments to their lifestyle. I don't want to say the words because YouTube will flag the video, but everybody here knows what I'm talking about. The C word, right? That we talked about on that channel, how it was time for humanity to evolve, right? It's time for humans to evolve. It's time for us to level up and grow and move forward and kind of let go of some of the old traditional limiting views and beliefs and systems and ways of life. And that just doesn't happen, right? The thing about humans is as long as we're comfortable, we're not going to fix anything, right? So as long as we feel like things are working and we're not having a rough time of it, we're not going to move to act to be like, let's update and change all these systems and beliefs, right? That's just not how humans work. Humans get like in this comfort zone bubble, and then they're like, oh, I want to stay here. Even if some of it is bad, I know what this bad stuff is, and I'd rather know the bad, right? It's like, we talk about it all the time on here. Deal with the devil you know, not the devil you don't, right? So it's like humans get stuck a lot, and they don't evolve as quickly as I would like. I know. And that's just human nature, right? So what happens is the universe will flood the planet with all this new higher vibrational energy when it's time for humans to change and evolve and grow and move forward. And that energy coming in will be intense, and it forces transformation, right? So in March of 2020, we talked a lot about how that energy was starting to come in. It was time for humans to evolve. It was time for us to start changing and growing, and we're in a new cycle, right? We've talked on this channel before about how I believe, just from all the information I've gotten throughout my lifetime being psychic and just the things I've learned and read and knowing history, I believe humans are in 100-year cycle, right? And like every 100 years, certain things happen. There's a genocide, there's a pandemic, there's a war, right? There's like, you can look at history going all the way back like thousands of years, and you can see that humans are kind of in this 100-year cycle. And certain things happen in the 100-year cycle, and they're not always great things, and sometimes good things happen as well in the 100-year cycle, and that's how humans grow and move forward through history, right? So we're at a place where it's time for the new 100-year cycle, right? But humans, like we just talked about, they have a comfort zone. They don't like change. But this is how I've always done it, but this is working. Why are we changing? People get triggered. They panic. We've been watching the world for the last 3 years. Lots of people are triggered. Lots of people are acting out because why? Uncomfortable with change. Uncomfortable with doing things differently. Not wanting to face some of our shadow elements as a collective that we have to face in order to grow and move forward, right? So we don't voluntarily do it on our own. So the universe will flood the planet with all this energy to force it to happen, right? Basically, the universe is like, it's time for a new 100-year cycle, which started in March 2020. Okay, it started flooding the planet with all this intense, higher vibrational energy, which was then forcing all these issues to come up for humans to face and deal with, because we can't grow forward unless we deal with the shadow elements, right? Cannot heal what you don't reveal. We talk about that all the time. So for the last 3 years, that intense energy has just been coming into the planet. Every time the planets move and change, and if you remember last year, we had a ton of like solar and lunar eclipses, more in last year than we've had in a long time. So that's how all that energy is getting flooded into the planet, right? So the good news is this March is the end of all that energy. That transformation energy that has been flooding us is done. It will be done starting this month and moving forward, right? Because it's already put all that energy here. It's forcing humans to deal with their shadow elements. It's forcing us as a collective to try to do better and to change and adjust the systems so that we can do better, right? A lot of our systems and beliefs and patterns and behaviors and a lot of that stuff is very old and antiquated, right? We're holding on as humans to beliefs and ideas and systems and structures that were created thousands of years ago. And thousands of years ago, these systems were needed the way they are, right? But now we're much different as humans. We've had much evolution, much change. Those old systems aren't working as well for the humans living in today's time. And the reason for that is because they're old and they're antiquated, and it's time to update them, right? Hence the new 100-year cycle, okay? So, but again, humans, even when we have a bad system, like in America, we know our system has racism all the way through it. Our school system does, our medical system does, our government does, okay? So those are 3 systems that have outdated beliefs running them. And we can't level up and change as a whole collective, as a human race, until we start facing that stuff and making adjustments. And so the last 3 years has kind of been about facing that stuff, right? Think about all the stuff that's come up in the last 3 years. We've seen how our medical system is broken when there's a big crisis, okay? We've seen how our government starts to fall apart a little bit. We've seen how our school system was not able to work well through the last 3 years. And I could go on and on and on, right? You get what I'm saying. So the last 3 years, the energy coming in is like forcing us to deal with all this stuff. Look at what we've created as humans, and now we need to start facing the stuff that isn't great and do better, right? It's time for us to start doing better. So now we're in the energy of, we've already collected all this information for the last 3 years. We're being pushed to look at our shadows, to look at the worst elements of ourselves, and we're being pushed to change it, to have intellectual conversations about it, where people aren't triggered and just yelling at each other, right? Look around at what's happened in the globe in the last 3 years. Not just in America, everywhere. There are governments falling and changing in multiple countries. We have crazy climate and weather things happening, right? Other countries are having, their medical systems are having issues, right? So this is a whole global thing where humans are being given the opportunity to do better, to make changes. Look at the things that aren't working and let's start making adjustments, right? So this is where we're at now. That transformation energy is done and starting in this month, March 2023. Now we're in the energy of, it's going to support us to take action, to start actually having these mature intellectual conversations and debates without fighting, without this whole, you need to listen to me, I don't agree with you, right? That's all going to start to fall to the wayside, because now we're kind of at a place where we can start dealing with the things because we're not getting so triggered by them, right? At first, when all of this information was coming up, humans everywhere are being triggered and people are fighting each other and over ridiculous things and over important things as well, right? We've got lots of protests going on around the globe. Like, this is humans now. We've spent the last 3 years looking at all of the things that need adjustment, okay? And now it's time for us to start acting. We're going to start demanding change in certain areas of our lives and worlds and societies, okay? So this is exciting, right? I feel like I've been waiting for this since my 20s. Like, since I was 20 years old, I've always been like, why can't humans evolve? Why are we so horrible to each other? Why are we always in war, right? And so I am ecstatic that this is finally happening and I'm on the planet to get to witness it. It's going to be a very exciting time. But I also don't want to mislead anybody. It's also going to be a very challenging time, right? Some amazing things are going to come out and we're going to move forward in amazing ways as a human race in the next 50 years. However, what we have learned in the last 3 years, right, is that humans don't like change. Change is not easy. So what's going to happen is we're going to have these periods of like amazingness, harmony, you know, all this stuff. And then we're going to have these periods where we feel like, oh my God, what's happening? We're backsliding. Because that's how change happens, right? It's like 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Change can be traumatizing. It can be challenging. It's hard for people to deal with. So the end result outcome is we're going to start redesigning our medical systems. We're going to start redesigning our education systems. We're going to start redesigning our governments, our communities, okay, into things that will work better for the way we live today, the things we think and believe. We're going to have a whole bunch of new innovations that are really going to help humans move forward in a healthier, more positive way, right? There's going to be more support and emphasis put on people's mental health, people's emotional health, self-care, right? That's all wonderful stuff. But for those of you who've been watching me for a while, we've been doing the work on this channel for a while, 3 years now almost, right? So, and I've been doing the work since I was like in my 20s. So I can tell you, and anyone doing their own work knows that it's not easy. You don't face your shadow and it's like, oh, well, that was easy and now I'm great and happy. No, facing your shadow sometimes can be very difficult, right? It can be traumatizing if you've been in denial for a while about it. So just keep in mind, there's amazing things coming for the next 50 years, but there will also be some challenges because, right, nothing is always just good. We have to have both to learn, right? So I just wanted to say all of that. Like, there's some amazing stuff happening and humans are finally going to evolve and we're going to finally get to a place where everyone's going to be less judgmental with each other. And it's not going to be so much about like what I believe is right and everybody has to live the way I believe and live or else I feel super threatened. That's going to go away. That energy is going to go away. There's not going to be so much fear. There's not going to be so much fear mongering in the media. That's another system that's going to change. Our media systems globally are going to start changing and they're going to do less fear mongering, less clickbait, less sensationalization, right? Because that's what humans actually need to grow. The way our media system is now is just continuing to turn up the chaos, and that's not helping anyone, right? So all of these wonderful things are going to happen, and we are going to evolve, and it's going to be beautiful to see, but it's going to be beautifully messy. Okay, I literally just heard song lyrics in my head for this song called Beautiful Disaster. So that is where we're at, right? It's going to be beautiful and wonderful, and we're going to grow, and we're going to see some of the best sides of humanity. But there will be challenges because not everybody's just going to be like, oh yeah, great, sign me up, let's start changing, right? Not everybody likes that. However, I can say in my own personal life, in the people around me, in the people I work with, in the people I spend time with, in my family, I have seen people already changing and making adjustments. Like, there are a few people in my family that were so closed off and they were so blocked in all of their chakras, and they were super low vibration, and they were happy to be that way, and I don't need to do any work on myself because I'm amazing, right? They lived in their ego. And both of these people I thought will never grow because they haven't, right? It's been 20 some years. They're still acting like they did when they were 20 years old. They haven't done a lot of growth. And so I always just kind of thought, those are two people that aren't going to reach any kind of self-mastery or growth, sadly, in this lifetime. And man, over the last couple of months, I have seen them make major changes for them, right? For somebody who has been so closed off and blocked for 20 years, they're starting to open up. They're starting to think about like their behaviors and the things that they do and if that affects others. And that is just something I never thought I'd see. So it is happening, and it's happening everywhere. You just have to be willing to look at it, right? You just have to be willing to try to see the changes people are making, no matter how small they are, right? So I just wanted to kind of talk about that because I want everyone to know that, like, no one is unredeemable, right? Even people that have done you wrong over and over and over again, and you think that's just how they are and that's an unredeemable person. That's not true, right? every person can take a small little baby step of some kind to move forward, to grow, to be better. And if we all did that every day, imagine what a better, harmonious, happier society we'd be living in, right? So, food for thought. Anyway, let's keep going. So, on the 7th, we have, the 7th. Okay, for some reason, yeah, okay. So on the 7th, we have a full moon. It is in Virgo, I believe. There will be a full moon video, just so you're aware. And you can watch that for more information on the specific full moon energies. I'm just going to include this in here in a little blurb because it's part of March, right? So around the 7th, we have this full moon in Virgo. This full moon is going to be an amplifier, okay? Remember how I was just saying all this wonderful energy is coming in, but that doesn't mean that humans just all of a sudden are going to be like, oh, I woke up today and I'm a completely different person. I'm a happier person. I've grown so much. I don't have shadow elements anymore, right? That's just not how it works, okay? And as we know, full moons amplify whatever it is happening within us, in the greater collective, in ourselves individually, okay? So this full moon is going to amplify anything we're feeling or anything that's happening in the collective, okay? There will be a very self-absorbed energy during this full moon time, okay? Humans will feel very annoyed by each other. Everyone will feel very irritable. Everyone will feel like in their interactions, like, oh, you're just rubbing me the wrong way right now, and I can't figure out why, right? So the way to get through that is just breathing. And I've actually had to do it recently myself. You know, my family had been here for 2.5 months for winter because they live somewhere that's cold and snowy. And now that they're older, they want to have beautiful winter weather, right? So, 2.5 months is a long time to have people in your house, right? And for the most part, it's been happening now for 6 years, and it's fine. I've had a ton of therapy. I have very open and honest conversations with these family members, and we're able to maturely talk about things and work things out. And really in 6 years, there's probably only been twice that there's been an issue that, like, where there was like a triggering conflict energy, right? So for the most part, we're all mature enough to deal with it and be in each other's space and tolerate. We have enough tolerance and love and compassion for each other that when things get irritating, you know, we deal with it and it's usually fine. But at the end of that, right, so this year they stayed like 3 extra days than they normally stay. And you wouldn't think 3 days is that big of a deal, right? But those 3 extra days were very trying on me because I had already reached my limit, right? I was ready. I'd had a great time with them. I was very grateful for the time and the experience. It was all good, but I was ready to get my space back, to be in my regular routine, right? I was craving that and I was getting ready for it. I was anticipating it, right? There's only 3 days left. 3 days, I get my space back. I can get back in my routine, blah, 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 right? And so because I was in such anticipation of that, it was like I found everything that my family was doing was irritating me. Everything. Even silly, ridiculous things. Like, I have a cat. Everyone knows his name is Watson. I call him Bubba sometimes because sometimes he'll just come and cuddle and I'm like, hey, Bubba, right? And that's just like a little term of endearment that I call him. No big deal. Well, my mom started calling him Bubba over those last 3 days. And that's a silly, ridiculous thing, right? Nobody died. It's not the end of the world. It's no big deal that she's calling him Bubba. But every time she did it, I found it was like nails on a chalkboard to me. I was getting so irritated by it. And I was like, oh my God, what? And I recognized, like, this is ridiculous that you're getting this irritated and worked up on the inside over something this silly, right? And I kept having to ask myself, like, why now am I getting this irritated? Like, she's been calling him Bubba, you know? And it was just the wear down, right? Like, I was worn down. I was tired. I'd spent 2.5 months with all of these other people in my space, their energy infiltrating my space and my world. And it was just getting to the point where I was getting tired and I wanted my own space back and my own, you know. And so those little tiny things were just really irritating me in a fantastical way. And so I had to do a lot of breathing because we'd had a great 2.5 months. I didn't want to ruin the last 3 days just because I was like having shadow things come up. I was being triggered, obviously. So I had to do a lot of breathing. I would go outside. I took a couple of walks by myself because I just needed to, like, be out in my own container, my own energy with nature, and nobody talking to me, nobody interjecting, you know. And I felt much better after those walks and those sessions of just sitting and kind of breathing in, breathing out the irritation. So keep that in mind around this full moon. Breathing exercises will be very helpful. Okay. Starting on the 8th, that's when all of this really amazing energy for the next 50 years starts coming in. It's going to start flooding the planet, right? It stopped. The old energy has stopped. That's been here for 3 years. The transformative energy, we have like a week of kind of adjustment. And then on the 8th, whoosh, all more high vibrational, amazing energy sent to support action, right? Action, change, growth. That energy is going to start flooding in on the 8th. It's going to feel great. It's going to feel like a celebration energy. Okay. But don't, just remember how that energy feels. And then anytime you're challenged throughout the month, try to recall that feeling. Try to recall that celebration energy. That will also help you. Okay. We've been talking about how now we're getting all this new energy in that's going to be about transformation. It's going to be about growth, moving forward, leveling up, right? We already did transformation energy. Now we have all this new energy. We're in the next step of the process, right? We've talked about before that my guides shared with me several years ago that humans think decay is at the end of the process, and it's not actually. Decay is at the start of the process. You have to have decay for newness, for new things to grow, for new cycles to begin, right? So the last 3 years, if you think about what's been happening globally, that's the decay, right? Things have been falling apart. Systems have been failing. We've been witnessing things not work like they should work, or that would create harmony for the majority of the people on the planet. Okay, so that is why all of this happened for the last 3 years, right? It was the decay. Now we're moving into the newness, the action, the changing, the growth, the creation of new innovations and ideas. All right, so I think last month or the month before, we talked about how grow or go. That's what it is now. Okay. So starting March 8th for like the next 50 years, the energy is grow or go. If you're not going to grow and try to be better every day and try to deal with your shadow, you have to go. Right? Not everybody, if we're being honest, let's think about what has happened over the last 3 years. There has been a lot of death on the globe. And not just from the C word, from climate change as well, from earthquakes, fires, right? There's been also in America the shootings. There's been a lot of people having to leave the planet over the last 3 years. And that's because their energy is not ready to move forward. It's not ready to level up. It's not ready to grow. So from this point forward, we're in the grow or go. And that goes collectively, and that goes in our personal worlds as well, right? There are people in your life that, like I was talking about earlier in my family, that are like very pessimistic. They're against change. They're very closed off. They're very negative. Those people, it's grow or go. If they're not going to grow, they have to go from your life. If you do not set boundaries with these people and you keep letting them affect your energy and your life in a negative way, you will be pulled back into their lessons. It's grow or go. If somebody's not growing, then you're telling the universe, I need to relearn these lessons because I'm hanging out with this person a lot, because I'm letting you know that I want to be in their energy. I want that vibration. So if you are spending a lot of time with people that you feel like bring you down, when you leave someone's presence and your energy feels very drained and exhausted, that's how you know. That's somebody who you're not going to be able to move forward with if you want to continue growing. Okay? It's game on from this point forward. If you're not going to make even little tiny baby steps every day towards being better, towards growing, towards healing your shadow, your childhood trauma, towards creating a harmonious planet, then you're not going to be able to participate in the new stuff. And that's just what it is. Okay? We're not supposed to be chasing people, trying to fix people, trying to change people. If you're in a relationship with somebody and you're working hard to try to grow and this person's not, if you don't set boundaries and move on from this person, you will be pulled back into where they are, because that's where we're at now. The last 3 years have been about the transition. The transition's over. If the person in your life isn't making some kind of effort towards bettering themselves and growing as an individual, they're going to be full of challenges. The universe is going to continue to push energy on them that will either force them to what? What'd I say? One more time for the bad people in the back. Grow or go. Okay? All right. Now, again, the good thing about all this energy coming in is it's going to last for years, probably 50 years or so, I keep feeling, even though we know time is not a thing, okay? But there's going to be lots of new innovations, lots of new ideas. We're going to start understanding information we've always had. Like, there's going to be new clarity towards knowledge we've always had, and we're going to realize, like in a lot of science and physics, we're going to start getting some new clarity, and we're going to start evaluating some of the knowledge we had, and we're going to realize, we didn't have that figured out right, but now we do. Now we have a new understanding of this information, right? Because now there's a leveling up of consciousness. There's a new level of understanding. So that's why our systems are going to start changing, and we're going to start redesigning things to work better for us today in modern times. Okay? There's going to be new understanding of old knowledge. There's going to be new answers, right? There's going to be a lot more scientific validation that comes in over the next 50 years that supports Reiki, energy healing, energy workers, healers. Woo-woo will become more accepted in the scientific community because we'll have new understandings about the information we already have, and we'll have new information that we're learning. Okay, so again, sound baths and sound healing will be scientifically proven as a benefit, and our medical system will start changing and using that, which is amazing. Communities and groups will start changing and evolving and We will be more compassionate towards each other. We will be more willing to help each other and work in harmony with our neighbors, with our community. Our education system is going to start changing. Schools are going to stop right now, at least in America. A lot of the schools are just like, they just push a bunch of information into you and they're like, memorize it because you're going to need all of this for college prep, right? But you're not really learning or integrating anything. You're just like, everybody's just like memorizing and storing information. Well, that's going to start to shift and change. Our education systems are going to be more about whole body, well-rounded, whole life approach, right? Instead of just like going and learning all these subjects, math, science, blah, blah, there will be classes on like home economics, how to get a job, how to cook dinner, how to do household items, how to create a garden, right? There will be classes on how to meditate, how to properly understand nutrition, and how to integrate all of these things, right? There will be more emotional and mental health education. You will be learning in the schools more mindfulness, okay? Starting now in March, it's all about moving forward only. Again, I'm going to say it, grow or go, okay? It's about moving forward. There is no more going backwards, no more looking to the past. If you're holding on to the past, if you're looking to the past, then you're telling the universe to just repeat your past things. I need to do that over because I'm so focused on the past. So the universe will just bring you more of what you've already had. And it probably won't be as easy the second time around. Well, not that it was easy the first time, but it'll probably get harder the second time around because the universe is like, oh, you don't want to move forward? Okay, then let's make you uncomfortable so that you can see that staying in the past is not a solution. Okay? So globally, collectively, the energy is no more going backwards. No more repeating old patterns. Okay, that's on an individual level and a global collective level. If you're not ready to move forward, you're going to be stuck. Okay? And I don't want to see anybody stuck. But you know what? We have to also remember, not everyone is meant to find mastery in every lifetime. So some people that don't come out of their shadows, that don't grow, that stay stuck in whatever it is, addiction, depression, whatever it is, ego, those people might be soul contracted to spend their whole life stuck in the dark, right? So that in the next lifetime, then they move out of it. We don't know. Everybody's journey is different. So that's why we can't chase people. We can't try to fix people. We can't try to force people to grow. We just have to let people go, set boundaries, work on ourselves, and if that person grows, that's amazing, they're meant to grow. But if we attach to whether or not they grow, we're going to be pulled back with them. Okay? Let's see. Okay, so we already kind of have been talking about how there's going to be changes, how things are going to be readjusting, right? The good news is, it's going to be, like I said, 2 steps forward, 2 steps back for a couple years. But by 2025, what my guides were showing me is we're going to be a different society, okay? Society is going to be more in alignment with being joyful, being happy, being loving. It's going to be less aligned with all of this old school ways of thinking, greed, money, power, right? That energy is going away. If you get stuck in that energy, you're going to be looked down upon. Society is going to change, and it is no longer in 2025. If you're somebody who's still worshiping money or materialism, you're going to be not treated well in society. You're going to be looked down upon. People are not going to want to be around you and spend time with you because that's not where we're headed, okay? We have to leave all that stuff behind. Greed, power, fear-mongering, that stuff's all trying to fall away now so that we can level up. Anyone still holding on to that stuff is going to have a very rough experience. Okay? And again, that's why we have to set boundaries with people, because we cannot force people to change. And if there's someone still in our life who is holding on to like being very materialistic, being very power hungry, being very in their ego and like, I know everything, right? That person's going to have a much more challenging experience from this point forward. And if you're attached to them, then you're going to get their roughness by like osmosis, right? By your vibe attracts your tribe. Their vibration will infiltrate yours and pull you down to their level. That's how it works. Vibration, you don't pull the lower vibration people. And again, this is not good or bad. The higher vibration people are not better than the lower vibration people, right? The higher vibration people were lower vibration people at one point. They just worked on themselves and grew. So like the people that grew are over here. The people that didn't are over here. How it works is you don't pull them up. That's not how it works. That's not how energy works. They will pull you down here and then you'll have to climb the steps again. Okay, that's just how it works. So you got to keep that in mind with the people in your life. You need to set firm boundaries with them or else you're going to be in their turmoil. Okay? All right, I think let's pull some cards. Oh, one more quick. Oh no, I got a couple more things in my notes I do want to talk about. March is going to be the biggest astrological month of 2023. So the most intense of this new energy for action, for growth, for moving forward. It's going to happen in March, and then the rest of the year it won't be so intense so that we can start to integrate and deal with this intensity, right? Now, we talked about how around the full moon, humans are going to be very irritable. They're going to be very annoyed with each other. Well, that's going to happen again from the 12th through the 16th, okay? That is a, 5, 6, 12, 13, 14, 15, 5-day period where you're just going to want to try to observe as much as you can during that time. During those 5 days, you're going to want to try to zoom out, observe, and find the humor in things. Find the ridiculousness in humanity. Because if you don't, it's going to be rough. Those 5 days are going to feel very messy. Humans are going to have trouble being direct with each other in their communication. There's going to be a lot of he said, she said. I did this because you did that. This is your fault because of this, right? And it's best if you can just zoom out, observe during that week. Do not get involved in that minutia. Do not attach to that minutia because it will be rough if you do, right? Try to find a way to laugh at the ridiculousness. If you're on your spiritual path and you're doing the work, you'll understand that these 5 days of tension and friction, they're needed, right? Because like we talked about earlier, things do not grow and get better unless there is friction and tension, right? Friction and tension, rubbing together of brakes with no pads, right? Creates smoke and fire and not good things, right? But that smoke and fire is what makes you realize, oh, my brake pads are all worn. I need new brake pads, right? And then you act and you do what you need to do. So this is no different. Those 5 days are going to be very full of tension, very full of friction, very full of irritability, humans being annoyed with each other, humans wanting to like pick at each other and fight with each other, right? Do not take the bait. Do not get pulled into that, okay? Because again, if you're on your spiritual path, just remind yourself this tension and friction has to happen so we can get to the innovation and the new ideas, right? There's no innovation. There's no new ideas. There's no birthing of new systems and structures if we don't have the tension and friction. So try not to let it spin you out of control or get you all worked up. When it's happening, I know it's difficult. Go back to the breathing. Go walk outside. Put your feet in the sand, in the dirt, whatever you need to do. breathe, remind yourself this is only happening so that we can evolve and level up and the good stuff can start happening. Okay? That's what I do. That's what I find helpful. Even in my own wobbles I've had over the past couple of weeks, whenever I'm wobbling, I just take a deep breath, I stop, and I just remind myself, this is happening so that we can evolve and level up, right? You can't have one without the other, right? You don't get new ideas and birthing of new systems if the old things don't start to have friction, tension, and fall apart, right? Like what we said at the beginning of the video, humans won't fix something if it's working, right? So if these systems, even if they're bad, don't fall apart, we're not going to do anything to change them, right? So we need the tension, we need the friction, we need the fall apart. It starts with decay, okay? The process of growth always starts with decay. This is the decay. The tension and friction is the decay. Just remind yourself, this is the decay. We're going to move forward. We're going to get to the good stuff. But without this, we wouldn't feel motivated to get here, okay? Yes, I wrote, the friction and tension have to happen. That's what brings growth and change to society and humanity. Do your best to sit back and observe. See the larger picture. Look for the larger opportunities for change. Okay? Try not to get caught up into the minutia of like, he said, she said, right? But he did this, but he did that. Try not to get caught up in that stuff. This month, I said earlier, the biggest astrological month of the year. More than ever, this month, it's very important to be very aware of your words, be very aware of how you speak, be very aware of how you show up in the world, how you speak about yourself, what you think about yourself, right? We were talking earlier, solar plexus. That's all solar plexus stuff. This energy is so intense in March that whatever you think or say will manifest very quickly if you're not careful. So if you're thinking and saying negative things to yourself, if you're being hard on yourself for mistakes you're making, you're solidifying into this new 50-year energy. You're solidifying in the new 100-year cycle that this is who I want to be. So that's why we need to be very careful with our thoughts, very careful with how we're speaking to ourselves and about ourselves. In March, we're going to want to make sure that we're showing up in the world as who we want to be. Because you're basically setting an imprint for what's you're going to be for the next 50 to 100 years. Okay, I won't make it to 100 years because I'm 47. So for the next 50 years, whatever I do this month, however I behave, however I handle my issues, I'm imprinting into the universe. This is who I want to be in the world for the next 50 years. So be very careful, right? If there's goals you want, try to stay positively focused on those goals. Try to see the positive. Don't just look at all the negative and the challenges, because that will not be good for your future, right? This month's energy will manifest anything you're thinking and doing very quickly. Okay? Just feed your solar plexus all month long, because you're going to need it to be strong. You're going to need to be confident. You're going to need to know who you are, what you want to be for the future, what your goals are. Okay? If you don't know those things, then sit down on the 8th, because that's a great energy day, with yourself and with your journal, and ask yourself these questions. Who do I want to be? What are my goals? How do I want to show up in the world? And write that stuff down. It's very powerful to write things down. Okay? So we're making this imprint in March, and writing it down would help solidify that imprint that you're trying to put into the universe. Okay? I hope that's making sense. Feed the solar plexus. You're going to want it to be very strong to get you through any challenges this month. Also remember breathing. Remember, zoom out when things get sticky. All right? Now, I'm done with my notes. Now, let's pull some cards, people. All right. We have this first card, 44, which is interesting because the other day I kept getting messages that like 4 is the number for March. And now we have a double 4, which then just further solidifies what I've been saying. March energy is very intense. It's doubly effective, right? So whatever you're thinking and feeling will manifest doubly. So make sure those thoughts are good. Again, this is from our new deck, the Female Archangel Oracle. So this is the first card we pulled, first time we're using it. And let's read what it says, okay? 44. Ooh, last card in the deck. Return to oneness, okay? Also, earlier I mentioned our heart chakra will be challenged this month, right? Well, this card, I told you when I was preparing the altar and everything, just kept falling out on the floor. It's a heart. Okay, look at all that white light coming in the middle of the heart, right? Our heart chakra is going to level up this month if we can successfully deal with anything that comes up for us. Okay? Source, return to oneness. Recognize your divinity. Come home to source. Your personal power isn't derived from an outside source. If you believe your power belongs to someone else, then they'll hold dominion over you. You are the pure loving awareness as the reflection of source always and in every way. Reclaim all that you are by remembering who and what you are. This is your calling card. A light from external agendas by turning to the wisdom of your source to guide you. Listen to your inner being, which speaks through your instincts and intuition. Trust your choices. Trust your instinct. Trust your heart. Accept the choices of others. Believe that there is a benevolent universal energy. Do not give up. And remember to stay in unity. It also says, rise like an angel. A good daily ritual for this month, best enjoyed during a morning shower or bath, helps you bring heaven on earth through your body. The angels share, we are each born from greatness, here to share greatness and to leave a legacy of greatness for those to come. It's time to believe in your valued contribution on earth, for your words and actions can create positive change for everyone. Okay? Turn on your shower and place your hands over the shower head, saying aloud, loving angels, may you infuse this water with the diamond ray to bring blessings to me and everyone who is ready to receive its light. Thank you, and so it is. Imagine the water is infused with tiny diamonds, each radiating rainbow light. Breathe in the rainbow luminance into every cell of your being. Let it wash over your entire body. Open your heart and say thank you for this new day. As the water brightens you from the inside out, feel into a virtue like joy, love, hope. And infuse that into your day. Send it out into the world as the water flows out of your shower and over your body. Give gratitude and thanks to the angels and the diamond ray and source energy. And then it mentions for the 44, if you really want to get a profound transformation, do this daily diamond shower for 44 days. Set the intention of what you're ready to change and prepare for your adventure. Well, now I see why that card wanted to come out. It basically supports everything I've been saying about March already. Okay? Now, we're going to pull from the Secret Woods. This was a Christmas gift. And I have played with it a little bit, but nothing really serious. So I'm very excited to use these cards. Thank you. You know who you are, who brought me these cards. We are grateful. I cannot wait to see what messages. All right. From the ultimate source of no harm to myself or others, please bring us a message from this Secret Woods deck to help us with the energies of March. Ooh, okay. One card, please. One card. New decks sometimes take a little extra shuffling. One card, one card. Whoop, there it is. Okay. All right. Oh, two cards, two cards. All right. The Sorcerer, an outsider's solution. And then also what came out, Alchemist, improve your look. Oh, I'm sorry. Improve your outlook. Okay. Beautiful cards, both of these. I'm going to read them here. We'll start with the Sorcerer. All right. Oh, okay. Beautiful card. It's like, I thought it was an eagle, but it kind of has chicken feet. Maybe, probably an eagle. Okay, doing magic. Creating a little chaos with the magic, right? See the on fire mountain volcano? Okay, an outsider solution. The sorcerer can escape the apocalypse. The sun setting behind the mountain charges a prism at the top of the castle tower. The crystal scepter must be held at a precise angle to create a beaming vibrational bow that plays the tune on the violin. Oh, I see. Beautiful. Proximity to the sundial is essential, for if he has calculated correctly, it will transport him through time. Okay, it says this card means your concerns cannot be compared to that of others because you have a different point of view that puts you at an advantage. You may not be ready to reveal all the details to people, but you know there will be an aligning of past accomplishments that will help open new doors. You will need to be patient. This is not a linear process, but cyclical, random, and chaotic. Things will come together mysteriously while you are working to reshape your perspective. Okay, what I'm getting from this is trust. In the darkest tension, stress, and conflict and overwhelm, you must trust that the universe will support your highest good, right? The universe will support your goals as long as those goals will grow you and move you forward. Okay? Now, let's read The Alchemist. Improve your outlook. The Alchemist. The alchemist is busy making potions in his secret sparkling cave. He is a conjurer of beauty who creates a romantic atmosphere where he works dressed in his most magical attire. A deeper look. You have come to realize and accept the nature of the situation, and that is out of your control. Now is the appropriate time to transform your attitude. The alchemist processes both negative and positive actions and collects only the essence of what is pure. Take a moment to gather your thoughts about what you have learned and know happiness is cherished because bad things happen. Okay? I think all three of these cards are very supportive of everything I've already said and talked about in the notes I channeled. I'm hearing one more. Let's pull one more of these female archangel cards. And let's see. What archangel is going to support us through March? Oh, okay. Couple more shuffles. Also a new deck. They're saying couple more shuffles. All right. What archangel will be supporting us in March? This will be our last card and then we'll wrap it up. What archangel will be supporting us? Whoop, whoop. On the floor. Archia clarity. Rest, reflect, recharge. Which makes a lot of sense, right? Because we need to show up. This is a very serious month for manifesting and imprinting who we want to be in the world onto the universe, right? Rest, reflect, recharge, clarity. We're going to be getting clarity immediately. We're going to read the book, but what I'm getting immediately from this card, it's beautiful. She's beautiful. We're going to be getting clarity. And see all these little diamonds? We just talked about doing that diamond shower ritual. She is going to be supportive of that. So I know I'm going to do that the next time I'm in the shower. I recommend it to anyone who feels called. Okay, Archia clarity. If you don't already have clarity on who you are, you're going to get it soon. And what's even crazier is I just opened the book up to the right. It's nuts. Okay. All right. By reclaiming peace within your mind, you reclaim peace within life. Prioritize rest. It says Archia clarity, whose name is derived from the Latin claritas, meaning brightness, serves on the yellow and gold ray of illumination, beauty, and wisdom. Clarity, being the angel of the sun, helps us remember who we are beyond a physical perspective. She shares. The kingdom universe lies within you, for you are both goddess and God. Clarity helps us empower both our divine feminine and sacred masculine energy to come into balance. This requires rest to allow intuitive guidance to flow in and space to express inspired action. She is reassuring you that it's okay to put your feet up. Recharging isn't just an act of self-love, but essential for smooth upward ascension and growth. Invite in Archia clarity for amplifying inner knowledge, detaching from political, societal, and familial agendas, determination, reclaiming personal power, mental concentration and memory, and shamanic practices. Yeah, this is a beautiful archangel to support this month. I mean, we talked about how all of our systems and things are going to be changing. Do not get drugged down by them. Do not be too attached by them. And it specifically says in here, she is here to help detaching from political, societal, and familial agendas. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. With that, we're going to leave it here. It's been about an hour and 20 minutes. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. I am trying to grow the channel. I do want to get the messages out there for those who need them. Wonderful. I thought I'd bring these a little closer. Maybe you guys could see a little better. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Have a wonderful rest of your day, night, evening, morning, whatever it is for you. Thank you for participating. Thank you for watching till the end. Please like, share, and subscribe. Comment if any of this resonates with you. Namaste.